The Eiffel Tower took 2 years and 2 months to build. Hagia Sophia was completed in 5 years and 10 months. Building the Burj Khalifa took 6 years. But the Büyükada Greek Orphanage? It hasn't been finished in 125 years, and it probably never will be. This isn't just a story about construction delays. This is a story about the collapse of an empire, the exodus of a community, and the lost future of 1,000 children. This is the world's largest wooden ghost house, and its story is far more tragic than you imagine. In 1898, in Istanbul, the capital of the Ottoman Empire, the Greek community was wealthy and influential. Bankers, merchants, artists. The Greek community was at the center of the city's commercial and cultural life. But beneath this wealth, there was a dark reality. Hundreds of orphaned children, children who had lost their parents to disease, accidents, or poverty, and there was no proper place for them. At this moment, one man stepped forward. His name, Eleftherios Amvrosopoulos, a wealthy Greek businessman, but more importantly, a dreamer. Amvrosopoulos didn't want to build just an ordinary orphanage for these children. He wanted to build a palace, a place where children wouldn't just be sheltered, but educated, raised, and allowed to dream. A place that would remind them that society hadn't forgotten them. And he found the perfect location, Büyükada, Istanbul's largest prince's island, away from the city's crowds, yet still close to the center. The island's highest point, Isa Hill. From here, you could see the Marmara Sea, Istanbul's skyline, and the Anatolian coasts in the distance. In 1898, the land was purchased, plans were drawn, and construction began. The building was so large, it could be seen from the island itself. 6 floors, 20,000 square meters, 200 rooms, grand halls, libraries, dining rooms, sports halls, made of wood but like a palace, a design from French architects, Gothic towers, elegant arches, wide windows. This wasn't just an orphanage, this was hope, a symbol of how much a community valued its children. Construction progressed slowly. Wooden materials were brought by ships. Craftsmen were called from Europe. Every detail was carefully crafted. But as the 1900s began, problems started. First, money. The project was costing far more than initially estimated. Amvrosopoulos spent his own fortune. He collected donations from the Greek community, but it still wasn't enough. Second, politics. The Ottoman Empire was shaking at the beginning of the 20th century. The Balkan Wars, rising nationalism, increasing pressure on Christian minorities, and the Greek community was becoming increasingly anxious. Third, bureaucracy. The necessary permits for the building could never be fully obtained. Ottoman authorities were uncomfortable with such a large structure, especially in a strategic location, being built by a minority. By 1914, the building was still unfinished. The exterior was largely complete, but the interior was half done. Windows weren't installed, floors weren't laid, there was no plumbing. And then World War I began. World War I was a disaster for the Ottoman Empire. The empire emerged, defeated from the war. Territories were lost. The economy collapsed, and minorities faced increasing pressure. In 1919, the Greek army landed in Izmir. The Turkish-Greek War began. The Greek community in Istanbul was anxious. Some started to emigrate. Some waited. The orphanage on Büyükada was completely forgotten. Construction stopped. Workers dispersed. Amvrosopoulos' dreams remained unfinished. In 1922, the Turkish army won the victory. The Greek army withdrew from Anatolia. And then one of history's largest population exchanges began. The 1923 Treaty of Lausanne. Orthodox Greeks in Turkey would be sent to Greece. Muslims in Greece would come to Turkey. Millions of people migrated, leaving behind their homes, jobs, and memories. The Greek community of Büyükada also left. Amvrosopoulos' legacy was abandoned. The orphanage never opened. 1,000 children never walked through those doors. The building stood silently on the hill, abandoned, unfinished, and slowly began to decay. During the Republican era, the building became state property, but no one knew what to do with it. Some ideas were proposed. It could be a hotel, a hospital, a school, but all seemed too costly. The building was too large, too old, too expensive. As years passed, the building suffered from neglect. The roof leaked, windows broke, wood rotted, strangers entered, walls were covered with graffiti, some sections collapsed. Islanders began calling the building the Ghost Hotel. At night, strange lights were said to appear between the windows. Some whispered that the spirits of the old orphan children still wandered there. Of course, these were legends, but the building truly was like a ghost, a remnant of the past, a forgotten dream. In the 1,980 seconds and 90 seconds, there were various restoration attempts, but none succeeded. Each time, money ran out, permits couldn't be obtained, projects were shelved. By the 2000s, the building had become genuinely dangerous. Entry was prohibited, fences were put up around it. It became a monument that could only be viewed from a distance. Today, in 2025, the Büyükada Greek Orphanage still stands, 127 years later, still unfinished, still abandoned. In recent years, restoration discussions have resumed. Some architectural firms have shown interest. EU funds have been discussed, but no concrete steps have been taken yet. The problem isn't just money. The problem is what this building should become. A hotel? But would that kill the building's historical meaning? A museum? But who will finance it? A cultural center? But can the island handle that? And the most important question, whose legacy is this building? The Greek communities, which no longer exists in Turkey? The Turkish republics, though the building began during Ottoman times? Istanbul's? Büyükada's? The world's? The answers aren't easy. But one thing is certain. This building isn't just wood and nails. This is a story. A story of an era, a community, a dreamer. What does the story of the Büyükada Greek Orphanage teach us? First, big dreams don't always come true. Sometimes, the flow of history is more powerful than human will. Amvrosopoulos wanted to give 1,000 children a home, but wars, migrations, and political turmoil destroyed that dream. Second, buildings aren't just brick and stone. They are concrete expressions of a society's values, hopes, and pains. This orphanage was a symbol of the Greek community's love, and its abandonment became a symbol of that community's loss. Third, preservation isn't just about restoration. Sometimes, leaving a structure as it is tells its story better. If the Büyükada Orphanage is restored, it might become a luxury hotel. But then, would its tragic story be forgotten? Today, this giant wooden structure stands on Büyükada's hill, silent, unfinished, but still impressive. When the ferry to the island approaches the shore, passengers rush to the windows. "What's that building on the hill?" they ask. And locals tell the same story. The story of the palace that was never completed. Perhaps this is the building's true purpose. Not to live as a completed orphanage, but as an unfinished memory. To remind us of the fragility of dreams, the cruelty of history, and yet that hope should never die. Because every abandoned building is actually asking a question: who will remember me? Who will tell my story? And by watching this video, you've become part of the answer. The Büyükada Greek Orphanage, one of the world's largest wooden ghost houses, a dream never completed, and a story that should never be forgotten. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. In the next video, we'll tell the story of another lost architecture. Let's rediscover the structures history has forgotten together.